Okay. Okay. Can you all hear me? You can hear me. Okay. How about everybody in chamber? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Okay. You're waving, so I think you can hear me. So, all right. Well, thank you for having me here today. And today we're going to discuss a very meaningful project that will enrich the town of Tiburon and celebrate the diversity and history of our nation. My name is Lucina Vidari, and I am the last known local Coast Miwok descending from the last chief of Marin County, Chief Camillo Yanicia. And with me is Lynn Robinson today, who has been a wonderful volunteer and supporter. And we are thrilled to be here via Zoom today to propose an installation of a Native American life-size bronze statue right here in Tiburon. And I'll go ahead and let Lynn introduce herself and give her a little information about herself.
Thank you, Lucina. It's an honor to be here. And thank you all, Tiburon staff and chambers. Thank you for inviting us. It's an honor to be here. The reason that I reached out to Lucina many months ago was because I spearheaded a project where I live in Terra Linda, or it's now called San Rafael, part of San Rafael, where we put up an art piece that was done by some kids, and it was funded by the Arts Council, and it was for diversity, and it was against all the George Floyd murder and Breonna Taylor and so many, many more. We wanted something in our town that would speak to diversity and equity and peace. So that's how I come, and I live in San Rafael, and whatever I can do to support you, Lucina, and the project.
Okay, so I'll read a little couple paragraphs here. Tiburon is a town steeped in rich history and natural beauty, and also essential to acknowledge the ancestral heritage and contributions of the Native American communities who have lived on this land for thousands of years. The proposed statue serves as a symbol of respect and gratitude and reconciliation, and will honor the First Nations legacy that has intertwined with the very fabric of our region. First and foremost, I believe it is crucial to highlight the significance of this statue as an educational tool. By installing it in a prominent location, we can foster a greater understanding and appreciation for the culture, history, and traditional ways of the Coast Miwok communities of Marin County. It will offer an opportunity for all generations, particularly our children, to learn about the Indigenous people, past and present day, who thrive in harmony with the land we now call home. Beyond its educational aspect, the statue represents a gesture of reconciliation and unity. It serves as a reminder that we are all interconnected, regardless of our backgrounds and our origins. This project will promote inclusivity and encourage a spirit of togetherness as we respect and celebrate the diversity that makes our town and our nation so vibrant. I understand that there might be concerns about the appropriation and misrepresentations of Native American culture in public art. However, I can assure you that this project has been undertaken with the utmost sensitivity of my Native American heritage and ancestors. We have worked with the local Coast Miwoks as well to come up with this design of an authentic Coast Miwok dancer, which I will be showing you in a minute. We have worked with Okay. In addition to the cultural collaboration, we will also involve the community in this venture. I encourage open discussion and welcome ideas and input from all residents. Together, we can design a plan that reflects the shared values and aspirations of Tiburon's residents while paying homage to the First Nations who once walked on the land in Tiburon. In addition to cultural collaboration, we will also involve the community in this venture. Also, it will be good for reconciliation and healing. Native American communities have faced significant challenges and injustices. The Coast Miwok were gone in a matter of 20 years in the mid-1800s. They were gone through diseases. They were driven off their land. They had their land stolen, but it only took 20 years in the mid-1800s for the Miwoks to be gone. But recently, many of you heard, I'm sure, that there has been somewhat of a comeback, and we are excited to see that. The statute can be a step towards reconciliation, acknowledging past wrongs and showing a willingness to foster positive relationships with Coast Miwok groups and present and future. A tourist attraction, the statute can serve as a unique tourist attraction, drawing visitors who are interested in learning about the Coast Miwok, history and culture. This in turn can boost local tourism and economic activity. So let's talk about the location. The chosen site for the statue will carefully be considered, and I'll show you all this in the PowerPoint, to provide optimal visibility and accessibility for all to appreciate. We want it to become a focal point where people can gather, reflect, and engage in meaningful conversations with our history, legacy of the Native American Coast Miwok communities. In terms of funding, I propose that we seek contributions from both public and private sources. We can explore meeting up with local businesses, organizations, and individuals who share the vision and understand the importance of the project. Together, we can make this idea a reality and leave a lasting legacy for future generations. In conclusion, the installation of the Native American statue in Tiburon is not just about the past, it's about shaping our future as a united and culturally conscious community. It's about bringing awareness to the coastal Miwoks of Marin County, past and present. Let's take this opportunity to create a symbol of unity, respect, and education that will serve as a testament to the diverse tapestry of our nation. In summary, the bronze native statue in Tiburon has the potential to be much more than a piece of public art. It can be a catalyst for positive change, education, and understanding, while also serving as a symbol of unity and inclusivity for the entire community. I thank you all for your time, and together, let's embark on this journey to commemorate the past, celebrate the present, and inspire a more inclusive and harmonious future for Tiburon and the Native Americans. Sorry, I don't know how to turn it down. New phone. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint now and explain the vision that we have. Please make sure to write down any questions that you have, and we'll be happy to answer them, either during the PowerPoint presentation or at the end. I believe you can raise your hand like that, but I don't believe that each one of you have a computer. So maybe if you have a question, somebody can raise a hand, whoever's in charge of the computer there. So I will go ahead and start my PowerPoint. Oh, I need to share this, I believe, first, I think. Do I need to share screen? Okay, here we go. Participants can share. Can you guys still hear me okay? Everybody? What about the chamber? Are you guys able to hear me okay? maybe you can raise your hand. Okay, good. All right, multiple participants can share. Okay, so I'm going to, one participant can share at a time. So I just clicked on share screen and I'm going to choose my PowerPoint, which is right here. And now I'm going to, from the beginning. Okay. So Post Miwok statue proposal. Can you all still hear me? Can you, Lynn? Is it all good? Okay. All right. So our great-great-grandfather, Camilo Unicio, was the last known chief of Southern Marin Miwoks. As I am a direct descendant, meaning that he is my grandfather. We are the only local ones left who can claim that in Southern Marin, our heritage to Camilo Unicio. He was born in Sausalito in the Hoyman tribe. We take pride in our heritage and are grateful for the Coast Miwoks that still exist in Marin County. It fills us with joy to see the community embracing our cultural heritage. And today I'm joined by Lynn Robinson, who you've met, and she's a wonderful person and supporter and friend, I could say. Our ancestors saw the, I can't see because this thing, anyways, oh, here we go. My ancestors saw the sunrise in Marin County every morning. Some would see it from over Angel Island, others would see it in different parts of the bay. But for thousands and thousands of years, we saw the sunset as well, just like you guys do. You know, we saw the sunset. We saw Angel Island. Of course, it wasn't called Angel Island, but we saw all the waters that you see today for thousands of years. And every day it was a day to gather food and make warm clothes and make meals for our families and fix our homes. And every day we celebrated earth and life. And if you can just picture in thousands all over, especially Tiburon, take away all the houses and put the dwellings there and just picture fires everywhere. I've done this thousands of times. And there's been so many artifacts found in Tiburon that I'm sure that were there in large numbers, although it's not well documented because they were gone in 20 years. They didn't have time to document it. They didn't know it was the end anyway, but they didn't have time and they couldn't write anyway or read. So at least not the English language. So documenting it just didn't happen. I get so many calls from people every day looking for information because they've looked everywhere and they've tried to find information and they just can't. So, you know, I'm sure that you guys all have a copy of this. And so, you know, you can read through it, but, you know, fires dotted the beautiful land of Marin all the way down the peninsula, all the way down Tiburon, all the way north, south, and east and west. Groups of little villages all over Marin County for thousands of years, surrounded by nature, willow trees. The redwoods outnumbered the natives. It was peaceful times in harmony with the earth. There's no better way to say it. So this kind of gives you a little timeline of, you know, Columbus arrived in 1492. The natives, first natives on the West Coast have contact with the Europeans, 1579. That's when Sir Francis Drake was here. Then you have the Lewis and Clark expedition in 1804. 1848 was the California Gold Rush. 1868 is when they're all gone. And then today we're here presenting this proposal to Tiburon. Now we know that they were on the land for at least 13,000 years, but recently they have found artifacts up in Oregon 18,000 years back. So, and I've always thought that it's probably a lot more than 13,000 years. So, and it seems like as time goes on, they find more and more stuff and they have more and more technology that could actually take us back. This is my family. These are the Coast Miwoks on the left. And on the right, I think I inherited this photo from my father. I think it's probably one of the oldest photos of Marin County. I can't tell you much about the photo. I'm not even sure who they are, but it was in my inherited treasures of artifacts and pictures and stories and everything that I got from my father. And I just believe that it's probably one of the oldest pictures of Marin County and one of the only ones with the Coast Miwok. And it's probably not even that old really, because I mean, it looks to me like the mid 1800s with the clothes that they're wearing. We have no Native American pictures in their Native American regalia in Marin County that I know of. I've looked and we have none, and I don't know why. Well, I kind of do, but I won't go there. So this is on the right is my great grandmother. It's Chief Camillo's daughter. And on the left is my great aunt. They're sisters. Maria on the right, Maxima on the left. And in the middle is Maria and Maxima again. On the right is my great grandmother. She was a teenager, probably around 16. And this is her big sister on the left, Maxima. And she's probably about 18. So these are the two ladies. Our homeland was at Olampoli, although they traveled up and down to Sausalito a lot because Camillo was born there. And as a matter of fact, William Richardson is the godfather to both of these ladies. I have the documentation. William Richardson and his wife. His wife's name was Maria Antonia Richardson, and my grandmother, they named her Maria Antonia Unicia. So they named her after William Richardson's wife. These are the descendants that are left from Camillo Unicia. On the left is my family, my crazy family, my kids, my grandkids. And on the right, and so these all descend from Maria Unicia, my grandmother. And on the left, I'm sorry, that's the left. On the right are the Maxima family, which is the older sister. These are all her family descendants. And she had 9 or 11 kids. I always get that confused. So this is what's left of those kids that she had. They weren't allowed to talk about it. They were driven off the land when they were young adults, and they weren't allowed to talk about it. So when I asked them, when the Willard family found me, when Maxima's family found me, and I asked them for information, they didn't have any, but they did have a couple pictures that they gave me, which I was really grateful for. My family, we don't know much about it. They weren't allowed to talk about it, so we don't have the traditional customs and ways. I have some stories I could share, but other than that, we don't have much left. They just as you can see in their pictures, they really colonized them. They had to. In order for them to survive, they had to colonize them. This is what we're proposing. This is the statue. So I'd like to introduce you to the dancer statue, Coast Miwok. First and only one that I've seen. My artist spent a lot of time researching the dancers Coast Miwok, and to get it all right, to get the feathers right, to get the flicker feathers over the eyes right, to get the grass skirt right, made out of tule, to get the feathers on the back right. Now this one says from here to here is 6 foot, but the pedestal would be 2 foot. Nothing is set in stone. We're open to ideas and suggestions. Although we love the maquette as it is. This is a maquette. We proposed the installation of an 8-foot bronze statue representing the native dancer in downtown Tiburon. The proposed statue would be created by Will Petit of WJP Studios in Monterey, California. He's right downtown next to the aquarium. Artwork captures celebrating life, beauty, and the human spirit. You can visit him at wjpstudios.com. His sculptures can be seen public and private collections throughout the United States, as well as Europe and Japan. The statue will be a huge tourist attraction, as we already stated, for locals driving around and people on the ferries. As a permanent installation, it is excellent representation of the heritage of Marin County Coast Miwok. The statue will provide a beautiful way of the community to engage and celebrate the Coast Miwok culture. Since the statue is freestanding, there's no environmental impact that I can think of. I'm sure that they'll have to do, you know, soil exploration and modification maybe, but I don't see any environmental impact. The statue will be excellent addition to the area and will add the aesthetics of the downtown Tiburon. This will be a permanent location for the statue. This is not set in stone as well. I mean, there's one other place that we thought of, you know, by Blackie's pasture. He could probably use a friend, but I think ideally it would be best in downtown Tiburon. Here's some pictures that I took of where I think it would go well. And you might agree, I think the ferries come in right about here. This is right next to the museum there. So you'll have parking, it'll be visible from the ferries. It's already, the soil and everything is already prepped. It's not like they have to try to figure out if there's any problems with the soil. Great area for little gatherings, right in downtown. I mean, that's ideal to me, I think. So, just to show you that we are making brochures. This will be, I have other volunteers, and this was made by a volunteer. Kind of gives us a little information on our project, on the project that I have going. I also have other current projects. I have manuscripts that my father left me. He's a writer, and he left me manuscripts that are just I can't even put it on the screen here. I guess you can't see me anyways, but he left me manuscripts and I'm digitizing them. They're historical Marin manuscripts. He spent his whole life researching it, and they're really well written. Even Betty Fort said that my father was an amazing writer. So that's another project. Also, I have a graveyard that I'm hoping to refurbish, renovate, and take away the white crosses that are at the graveyard and put headstones, maybe even pictures of my ancestors that are buried there instead of white crosses. Even the white crosses are getting destroyed. So, so installation details. Again, this kind of gives you the measurements. It'll be a little over 7 feet tall, but again, that's not set in stone. If you want it bigger, if you want it smaller, I kind of think maybe even bigger so the ferry can see it. But you know, that's kind of up to the town of Tiburon. Again, it's going to be crafted by Will, and we'll have a cement pedestal approximately 2.5 feet wide and 3 feet long, and that will have the names of people who have contributed and supported and helped along with the statue. I've been doing this for a few years now. We actually had another statue, but we kind of put that one to the side and came up with this one. And so we paid the artist well over $20,000 that I've raised so far. So we're in deep. We would like to emphasize that the artist will oversee the entire project from start to finish. He's a professional at this. He knows what he's doing. This guarantees that the statue's creation and installation are going to be carried out with great care and attention to detail. Here you can see the side, the front, back, sides, but I'm going to actually show you my maquette that I have, this is a picture of the maquette. But this kind of gives you a little detail about it. These would be eagle feathers, possibly turkey feathers. They changed. In the front, you'd have, in the front, you'd have Thule, possibly. We have, you know, there's not a lot of documentation on their costume breakdown, unfortunately. As I said, they did not document a lot of the history of the Coast Miwoks, and so we kind of have to gather little bits and pieces, maybe from the Pomo and Ohlone even sometimes, you know, to trying to figure out what all of this means. But each feather has meaning to it. Everything means something. The flicker feathers in the front mean something. The feathers coming out the side, the feathers in the back, they all have representation. and he did such a beautiful job, the artist did, you know, and we can make any changes if we needed to, but actually the council guys, I don't know, you might have heard of the council guys that are now in town. This is myself with them, and that's myself with them. This was a few years ago, a couple years ago. Anyways, they are very much in support of the dancer statue. And this is kind of a budget and timeline. It looks like, so as I said, I paid the artist 20,000, but 10,000 was for the other project that I'm doing with him. So 10 would be applied to the dancer. So this is the breakdown of the artist, and the balance that I owe is 111. But again, that's an estimated cost. It depends on, it has a lot of variances, as you know, because I hear you guys might be artists, so you know there's variances to things. So depending on, you know, what happens at that point, I think it'll be 6 months, maybe to a year, once we get the funding to the artist, that we could have our statue. The conclusion is the installation of the 8-foot bronze statue will be a significant addition to the landscape of downtown Tiburon. It will celebrate the heritage of Maicos Miwok ancestors and provide a beautiful piece of art and attract visitors to the area. And we propose installing the statue as a permanent location for the Miwok statue, first of its kind, first in Marin County, first in the Bay Area. There's not even another statue like this in the Bay Area that I know of any of the other Native Americans. So this is going to be a first all the way around, and I think it's just an awesome step. So if you have any questions, I'll go ahead and stop the screen share. I'm going to show the maquette. You answer your questions either before I show the maquette or after. So I'll go ahead and stop the share. This is the resources that I've gotten my information from. And at the bottom is my information, my phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share now. Okay. Okay. I guess first of all, before I show the maquette, are there any questions at this point? Okay, I see a hand coming up, so I hope I can hear you. It says it's muted. The chambers are muted and the Tiburon staff is muted. Oh, this isn't muted. Okay. But I can't hear anything. Lynn, can you say something? Okay, I don't think I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I hear you. Yes. Okay, I hear Lynn. But I don't hear anything over there. So,
Is there a way to put things in the chat? Is anybody able to type into the chat?
I know that okay. So never in front of there is a way to turn the mic on.
Yeah, neither of us are hearing you if you do have any questions.
So should I show the maquette now then? Okay. Let me go ahead and show the maquette. Maybe somebody can figure out the audio, because we're not hearing you. Could be on our end, you know? I mean, we don't know. Oh, there's my phone. That's probably okay. Hello? Hi. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good idea. Okay. Great idea. You're welcome. Right. Where, yeah, vitamins. I've heard that. There'll be six. Yeah. We, oh, that's an idea. That's an idea, and we have thought about security, and we will address the security of the situation as well. We don't want people climbing on it. We can't have kids climbing on it. So, right, and we have, yeah, yeah, and we have considered that, and we are talking about it, and the artist, remember, he's a professional. So, anytime I have a problem or a question, I present it to him. He comes out with an answer right away. Maybe we can figure out an answer right away to have some sort of security gate around it. Even in the roundabout, it would be able to have a gate around it. So I understand those concerns. I mean, everybody's brought it up, but there are statues almost in every city across the United States of their Native American heritage. I don't know if you know that, but there are statues that are well 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall in all these cities. And so if they can do it, so can we, you know? We just have to figure out the logistics of it, you know? Well, I'll tell you again, the Coast Miwoks were going so fast that there's no, I mean, we've had a heck of a time, but we spent years researching. And plus, my own father is a writer and a researcher and a doctor and all kinds of stuff. And so I have the manuscripts there, but you're not going to find much on. There is a book called Isabella, uh, called Maria Copa and Tom Smith, and that was written in the West Marin Coast Miwoks, which is pretty close to the same. But there just isn't much. Now, the council guys, there's a tribal council. I don't know if you're familiar with that in Marin County. Is anybody familiar with the tribal council? No, nobody's, okay. They've approved it, and they are the Coast Miwoks. They've just come back recently, a couple years ago. They formed a group, and they actually got some land recently, and so they're coming back, and they love it. They love this, and they're dancers. They're all dancers. They dance at the powwows, and so they know what the Coast Miwok looks like. But we've spent a lot of time, and I can assure you that if we showed this to any anthropologist anywhere, I'll go to Berkeley if I have to. I can assure you that they would absolutely agree that this is very authentic. In fact, there's a lady named Teresa. I don't know what her title is. It's something anthropology, and she said this is the most authentic Coast Miwok statue that she's, not statue, art that she's ever seen. And she's been around for, I'm going to say 40 years or so as a historian and anthropology in Marin County. And I can get her name for you later, but she has seen the maquette, and she said that this is the most authentic, her words, the most authentic that she has seen. A little bit, but I think it'd be a little tricky to get into there. They're proposing other. They had a heck of a time getting that one Henry statue in there. Hank, what is that called? The guy in downtown, the statue. It took them years, and then recently I heard they were proposing a statue of the mayor. What's her name? Stanford. And I mean, I think it would be a lot of, I just think it would take a lot to get it there. But we've talked to him a little bit, and Lynn was there. I mean, we probably could pursue it, and then we would probably can get somewhere with them, but I think it would be a little bit of a challenge, right, Lynn? Or what do you think?
I'm afraid I'm not hearing the question. I'm only hearing your responses.
And have we consulted with Sausalito? Or have we tried to approach Sausalito about this?
We did. We went and we met with the mayor actually, but we haven't had a response in many months.
Right. I think it would be a challenge. I think we could pursue it if we wanted to, though. We could have, Lynn and I could, we could be in their face and pursue it, but it sounds like they have other things going on with the Sally Stanford statue and the other one, like I said, Henry, that one took forever too. I think they would love this, and I think this would be a perfect fit there too. But I think Tiburon as well. I'm sure my ancestors were in Tiburon. Tiburon and Sausalito are right there, right next, they were very widespread, but we don't have it documented. So if you ask me for proof, I can't give you proof unless they find some bones somewhere in Tiburon and we do a DNA, but,
I wonder if I can just say a little something. I'm actually from England. When I first came to this country, I spent a little under a year at Strawberry School. You all remember that song, Mill Valley, California. Well, that wasn't my year, it was the year after. But when I was going there in 6th grade, there was a plot of land across from Strawberry Elementary School, and nobody could build on it at that time. This is 1968, perhaps. And there was a village. They had dug up the remains of the people that lived there. They found spearheads and all sorts of things. So Tiburon there was a big population of indigenous.
for this, you mean not the material, you're not saying? Yeah. I mean, we researched like crazy online. Researched. There's not a lot out there. You just have to take what you can get. We got the Coast Miwok. This is as close to the coast. I'm sure it's pretty authentic. If you look around, the Ohlone, the Pomo, and the Coast Miwok are very similar in traditional ways and customs and styles. I'm sure they did a lot of intermingling because of that. They're very similar in a lot of ways, almost identical. So you just can't get it wrong. What can you do if you start with nothing? Just sources online. Yes, there is a picture of some children that are online. It's the only picture I know of. Actually, there is one. That's the one picture I know of that they do have their natural regalia on. And so that's one picture, and that's Coast Miwok, but they're children. And so he modeled that.
Lucina, remember the historian that you met in Fairfax when you showed the maquette?
One that said, this is the most authentic Coast Miwok that she's seen, and she's been around for 40 years. She said that this is the most authentic artwork. And she's a historian, and I believe she even has some sort of anthropology degree. I'm not 100% positive on that, but yeah, Teresa. Yeah. I could probably get that from the artist, but I could also tell you that the Miwoks are very widespread in California. They also go up to Yosemite, they go to Tuolumne, they go to Tahoe. They're very widespread. And so, you know, you could almost just kind of gather them all together and get the, you know, the regalia, the correct regalia. And so, and the tribal council guys, you know, like I said, the ones in the Coast Miwok, the new Coast Miwoks that came back in Marin County, they loved it, and they're very traditional guys. They do all the powwows. In fact, I don't know if any of you went to that powwow recently, but they are dancers. And so, and if they, believe me, these guys, if they had any objection, they would have very much stated it, and they didn't state it. They said they loved it. So, you know, we have to go with something, you know, so. I have the floor. Remember, there is a book called Maria Coppa and Tom Smith, and there probably is pictures in there as well, and a more descriptive, a description of the meaning of everything, the feathers, and you know, I've got a description. It's, you know, so Tom Smith and Maria Coppa is the name of the book, although it's hard to get, and I believe it's like $200 on Amazon or something. So, but I'm sure that the council guys would probably provide it to you if you wanted it. Or the library. You can actually go to the, I believe the library carries it too. By Isabel Kelly, Tom Smith, and Maria Coppa. Interviews with Tom Smith and Maria Coppa by Isabel Kelly.
We were able to carry this through in the broader community of
yeah.
Yes, because it sounds like you've done some fundraising and you know avenues of the reciprocal or
I have is the questions done? Or I think Lynn wanted to say something, right? Did you want to say something, Lynn?
Yeah, I would love to hear. I'm so sorry that I can't hear what the responses are to Lucina, but I would really love to know what inspired or motivated you to to want to consider having a Miwok statue, Coast Miwok statue on Tiburon property, and what inspired that for you?
You're welcome. Know where my speaker is.
Gupta,
Mhm.
the commission. I don't know if Lynn can hear me, but our purview is heritage and art. So we do have an interest in the history and the heritage of the Tiburon Peninsula and the people who are here now and in the past. And we certainly also embrace the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion as well. And those are, I think we're also fascinated by this wonderful history. I know my children are in the school system here, and they learn about the Miwok, and they come to me, and they're just, you know, overflowing with enthusiasm and interest about the subject and about this land. And so I think there are many, many reasons why we have an interest, but certainly as a commission, our purview is heritage and arts, and this kind of combines both in a wonderful way. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful answer.
And the responses, because I have one thing I want to do before we close. So let me know when we're there.
I think we're there.
Okay, all right. Well, what I want to show you is I have probably the last Coast Miwok basket that I know of that exists in Marin County. That was passed. This belongs to my grandmother, Maria. You saw a picture of her earlier in the mid-1800s. And basically, this is actually given to young girls so that they can wear it when they're 12, so that they can be used to carrying the babies on their back. And somehow it has survived the generations, and I have it. And I'm just really excited. I don't usually bring it out. It never goes anywhere. It stays in my closet. I imagine it stayed in my father's closet and his mother's closet, her mother's. And so that's where it lives, you know, so I don't usually bring it out. Okay. You're welcome. All right. Thank you guys for attending.
Yes, I'm sorry about
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it worked, but Lynn couldn't hear much, but I think it's on you said maybe YouTube and maybe on your website. So if she wants to go back and look at it, I think. Okay. Tomorrow. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Lynn. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Signing off.